Hello, this is the chair of the Molloy College IRB, Dr. Patty Eckhart. I wanted to give you a little background about why you're doing training in human subjects protection and the responsible conduct of research. Additionally, if you're doing clinical trials, you'll be doing training in good clinical practice, which is known as GCP. The federal policy for the protection of human subjects is called the Common Rule, and it's 45 CFR Part 46. Which comprises the Common Rule and gives us the Code of Federal Regulations as to what is involved in human subjects research, how to protect human subjects, and required work of entities such as Molloy College who are involved in human subjects research. Part of this Common Rule is that the people that we allow to conduct human subjects research with the Molloy College Institutional Review Board, or IRB, imprimatur, put on at our stamp of approval. Studies get approved for 1 year at a time, and at the end of that year you have to resubmit for a study approval or close your study and give a closure report. But there's guidance as to how we review studies, because the goal of an institutional review board and the job of an institutional review board is to protect human subjects' rights. So this is the Common Rule page from HHS. You can take a look here at the Belmont Report, which was written in 1979. That was the beginning or the basis of the Common Rule. And the Common Rule is being updated. It's been updated for the past 2 years, actually 3 years, with iterations going back and forth, and the Common Rule changes. The date to take effect has moved a little bit over the past few years, but changes are in place, so the Common Rule is being updated. What I wanted to take the time on this short podcast is to show you the training that is required of you if you're going to be a part of any IRB approved protocol that involves human subjects research here at Molloy College. Any person named on the protocol has to complete this minimum currency of training that I'm going to show you now, that's outlined now. Okay, so the minimum currency of training, you can either meet this minimum currency for research ethics and compliance by doing a homegrown program, which only happens at larger institutions typically that have an academic medical center and a clinical translational science award associated with the university or the institution. That usually is a week of education and training for minimum currency to meet these guidelines. And most colleges, universities, organizations opt instead to use CITI program, which was a not-for-profit but is now a for-profit. It came out of the University of Miami. It is now part of Brainy. And they have compiled and are up to date with all of the required programs and also additional modules and educational trainings that can be available for specific protocols. So CITI program is the program we've used at Molloy since we started being involved in human subjects research. And the basic currency is a course in human subjects protection and a course in the responsible conduct of research. So here's the basic subscription that is available through CITI. We do not do animal research. We can do conflicts of interest. We have guidance on that as well from HHS. Good clinical practice will be done, as I mentioned, if you're involved in a clinical trial. That's mandatory to do for everybody on the protocol. But for the basic currency, you have to have a human subjects research protection. All of the basic modules completed, successfully passed with a score of 80% or better for passing in each module within the past 3 years. Same thing for responsible conduct of research. So I'm going to show you these. So for the human subjects research course, you're either going to pick the biomedical track or the social behavioral educational track. If you're a student, speak with your faculty, your PI on the project, and they will tell you which track they would like you to complete. It usually goes with your domain of practice. However, some disciplines cross over domains and might need to do social behavioral educational for one protocol and biomedical for another. So speak to your faculty who are the PI on your projects. So that's human subjects research, and these modules here, every module has to be completed within the past 3 years. with a score of 80% or better in each area. Same thing here for social behavioral. You do one or the other for each protocol. And often people just do, if you're a biomedical researcher, that's all you'll do. But if you cross over, always speak to your faculty or PI as to what type of research this protocol is going to be. For each protocol that's submitted to the IRB, it is the responsibility of the PI to submit with the packet before we lock the packet that you submit to the IRB, because the emails are tracked. Before you lock the packet for submission, every researcher named in the protocol has to have a copy of their human subjects research protection, one of these tracks, with all of the modules successfully completed within the 3-year time frame of the submission of the protocol to the IRB, along with the same for their responsible conduct of research, which is here. This is the responsible conduct of research basic course, all of the modules, and there's a refresher course every 3 years. All right. So the takeaway is every person named on every human subjects research protocol has to provide evidence along with the initial packet that is the responsibility of the principal investigator to submit with the complete packet to the IRB before their protocol will be reviewed. A responsible conduct of research completion, 80% or better in each module for each mandatory module, done within the past 3 years of the submission of the protocol, and a human subjects protection, either the social behavioral or the biomedical. Again, if it's a clinical trial, and the PI will know ahead of time, the principal investigator, because we will have let them know at the IRB, there's additional training and good clinical practice that's required of all investigators named on the protocol. All of these must be submitted together through the PI to the IRB. They do not come in individually in emails. For tracking purposes and auditing purposes, they have to come in with the packet submitted to the IRB prior to IRB review by the committee. We'll show you what CITI training looks like. Okay. On your home screen, when you enroll, you'll sign in with your Pat Eckhart at molloy.edu and be brought to a home screen, and you would go to your main menu, My Courses, and you would then get this interactive dialogue to select your curriculum. You're going to be provided with a series of enrollment questions. Their responses will determine the curriculum you're going to take. Read the questions carefully and the responses carefully to make the best choice. So question 1, responsible conduct of research. Everybody has to have one completed every 3 years, 80% or better within each module of the curriculum. So everybody, all investigators, IRB members, IRB chair, students, assistants on any IRB protocol would click here so they could complete the modules. If in the past you've completed modules, you might not have completed all the modules. They have to be completed now, so you need to check and make sure you have all the modules completed within 3 years, 80% or better. And again, the modules are outlined here. Responsible conduct of research. These are posted on the IRB website. And human subjects research. Again, all the modules for biomedical here, if that's what you're doing, or all the modules for social, behavioral, and educational. 80% or better within 3 years of the submitted protocol. Okay, so these are posted. You can look through these. Look at what you did in your CITI training, and they'll tell you if you completed them successfully and when in your grade book, and we need to see that. With the submitted packet coming through the PI directly to the IRB at molloy.edu, not individually, they must come with the packet. Question 2. Please choose one learner group below, based on your role in the type of human subjects activity you will conduct. Okay. Either biomedical, right, or social and behavioral. Most of you will not be doing research with data or laboratory specimens. This is different than human subjects research. This is different learning modules. If you have questions, you can contact me at the IRB at molloy.edu, or contact the PI, principal investigator, and they will let you know which type of research it is. So either this or this typically. If you're an IRB member, you will do this. You are not IRB administrators. Our IRB administrator is Dr. Kathleen Morris-Smith. Revised Common Rule. You will not be taking this at this time. Good clinical practice, you will not be taking that either unless you're doing a clinical trial. And again, your principal investigator will know that, because when they submit the trial to me or discuss it or look themselves at the guidelines, they'll know it's a clinical trial. So again, you will be doing a human subjects research, either biomedical or social behavioral research for investigators, and a responsible conduct of research, with all of the modules successfully passed, 80% or better score in each module within 3 years of the submission. And these get submitted as a group package. Every investigator named on that IRB application comes from the principal investigator directly to the Molloy IRB, irb@molloy.edu, with all of the required trainings for everyone named on the protocol in the package submitted to the IRB. Or the records cannot be reviewed. It goes back to the principal investigator, and until everyone's trainings are there and up to date, it will not be reviewed. The process is important for tracking and for auditing purposes to make sure that the protocol was designed, knowing that every piece of the protocol was designed with knowledge of responsible conduct of research and protection of human subjects by the team who designed the protocol, and knowing that everybody on the team has the minimum knowledge and training to protect human subjects' rights in research. Again, it's Dr. Patty Eckhart. I'm your chair at the Molloy IRB. Please feel free to reach out with questions at irb@molloy.edu. And for principal investigators and faculty, feel free to reach out directly. Thank you very much, and have a good semester.